Hey guys, it's Toby and this is a guide to defending a site on Split. So first things first, we need to be aware of the 2 points at which the attackers can make it onto the site. The first of which is a main and the second is a ramp. This means we need to be watching these positions effectively. So we need to position ourselves effectively. And the first position we find ourselves in is a tower, also known as heaven. This is a very powerful spot as it allows us to watch both a main and a ramp effectively. And when combined with another teammate, ideally someone who is watching just a main, then you will have great control over the site. But where would someone position themselves to watch a main? The first point at which you can be watching a main from is CT, also known as defender side. This is a decent spot as it gives you a direct line of sight towards a main. Do not peek from the left however, as they can see you before you can see them. Another common position in which you can hold a main from is actually from a site itself. This gives you a slightly different angle as you can see the attackers as they approach on towards the site, and you can take them by surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker!
And speaking of taking them by surprise, there are some alternative angles that you can hold which the attacking side may not be expecting. The first of which is very aggressive. This could be done when you're right up against the barrier at the start of the round and you can push straight towards main or straight down ramp. This is only effective on like an eco round or maybe a round where you're using SMGs. I wouldn't really recommend doing this on a rifle round as you are the defenders. You don't have to push them, the attackers have to push you. Don't forget that. Some more alternative angles and positions that you can be holding to take the attackers by surprise include under heaven, either tucked into the corner or by the plant box thing. In addition, you could also be deep inside heaven or in the corner of heaven watching a push from ramp, or even on the ramp boxes themselves. Depending on the composition of your team, say if you have a Omen or a Jet or a Raze, you could also be holding here or here. Switching between the common positions and the off angles is a great way to keep your opponents guessing. They might be using their utility to smoke off heaven for instance, but you might be under heaven and they won't expect that. And speaking of utility usage, you need to use yours effectively, especially when on the defending side. For instance, you could set up a bunch of Cypher tripwires or a Sage wall on the ramp side. This will help you defend ramp much more effectively and even force the attackers maybe just to go down a main if they don't have enough time to break through the wall and go to ramp. And from this you can set up a crossfire. A crossfire is where you and your defending teammate are watching the exact same point, so maybe you're both watching a main, because you've guaranteed that the attacking side can't come from anywhere else. Another great example in using your utility effectively when defending is by combining them. Say for instance you have a character that can drop smokes like a Brimstone or an Omen, you can follow this up with a Molotov from a Phoenix or Brimstone himself again. This is great especially when defending against a team that likes to push through smokes, as they might not be aware that they're taking damage when going straight through the Molotov in the smoke. But sometimes you can't hold the site down. Maybe it's because you're getting overwhelmed by a rush, or maybe you're playing on the other site and you need to rotate. In this scenario, you'll be playing a retake. When playing a retake, the roles are effectively swapped around for the next 45 seconds. You become the attackers and the attackers become the defenders. You have to reclaim the site, and there are 3 points at which you can do this from. The first is CT, the second is mid, and the third, if you have enough time, is from the attacker's side itself. Ideally you'll be converging down 2 of these 3 points at least when retaking, but one thing you need to know when retaking the site is that you have to use your utility effectively, what remains of it at least. Just like we mentioned before, when defending, your utility gives you an advantage in the fights. So if you only have 1 smoke or 1 flash left, you can use this to isolate a certain position, maybe CT, and try and get a pick before moving further towards the site and attempting the defuse. Retaking in and of itself is very situational. It depends on a number of factors, including how many people are still alive on the enemy team and on your team, how much money you'll have left in the following round if it doesn't go well, so on and so forth. It's a topic for another video. But the main thing to do when retaking is think of it as attacking the site itself, and we have a video for exactly that. Check the top right. But with that, we come to the end of our guide for defending a site on Split. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave us a like if you like this video, leave us some questions or any feedback you have down below in the comments. Check out our social media, especially our Twitch page, as we'll be using this more often. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.